How to Build Discipline in Kids, a guide for parents. Hey everyone, welcome back to Veer's Learning. Today, we're diving into a topic that every parent has asked themselves at least once. How do I help my child develop discipline? You know, just like renovating a house, raising kids takes a whole lot of love, patience, and a good plan. If you're struggling to find the balance between being supportive and setting boundaries, this video is for you. We all want our kids to grow up feeling loved and confident, and that starts with a strong foundation of discipline. Let's talk about the steps that can make a big difference in your child's growth and your family's happiness. I think you'll find these tips are like those little fixer-upper projects around the house. A little effort can go a long way. What is discipline? Now, I think it's important to start by reframing how we think about discipline. It's easy to get caught up in the idea of punishments or being strict, but that's not what we're going for. True discipline isn't about making our kids afraid, it's about empowering them. Think of it like this: when we're renovating a house, we don't just slap on a fresh coat of paint and call it a day, right? We have to start with the foundation, the structure. And that's what we're doing with discipline, building that inner structure that helps our kids thrive. It's about teaching them to develop self-control, responsibility, and respect for themselves and others. It's about giving them the tools they need to make good choices, even when it's tough. When we approach discipline this way, with love and understanding, it becomes less about control and more about guidance. It's about helping our kids understand that their actions have consequences, both good and bad. And the beautiful thing is, when kids feel understood and supported, they're much more likely to rise to the occasion. They start to see that discipline isn't a punishment, it's a way to learn and grow. Step #1. Set clear, consistent rules. All right, so how do we put this into practice? Well, just like any good renovation project needs a blueprint, our kids need structure. They need to know what's expected of them. That's where clear, consistent rules come in. And it's not about having a million rules. It's about choosing a few key ones that are important for your family. Think about things like being kind to others, respecting belongings, and helping out around the house. When kids understand the rules and, more importantly, the why behind them, it's like having a roadmap to follow. It gives them a sense of security and helps them make good choices. Now, I know it can be tempting to just say, "because I said so." But trust me, taking the time to explain the reasoning behind a rule can make all the difference. For example, instead of saying "clean up your toys right now," you could say, "Hey, sweetie, let's clean up your toys so no one trips over them and gets hurt." See the difference? You're not just laying down the law. You're helping them understand the importance of responsibility and consideration for others. And consistency is key here. Just like you wouldn't change the layout of a house every other week, try to be consistent with your rules and expectations. Kids thrive on routine and predictability. Now let's talk about positive reinforcement and consequences. These are like the tools in our parenting toolbox. Positive reinforcement is all about celebrating the good stuff. When your child makes a good choice, acknowledge it. Let them know you see their effort and that you're proud of them. It doesn't have to be anything big or expensive. A simple, "I noticed you shared your toys with your sister today. That was very kind," or "Thank you for putting your dishes in the sink. That was a big help," can go a long way. A little praise and encouragement can be incredibly motivating for kids. It's like giving them a little pat on the back and saying, "You're on the right track." But let's be real, there will be times when consequences are necessary. And that's okay. Consequences are just a natural part of life. They help kids understand that their actions have outcomes. The key is to make sure the consequence is related to the behavior, and that it happens immediately or soon after the behavior. For instance, if your child refuses to clean up their toys after you've reminded them a few times, a natural consequence might be that they lose the privilege of playing with those toys for a little while. Remember, the goal here isn't to punish, but to teach. We want our kids to learn from their mistakes and make better choices next time. You know, one of the most powerful tools we have as parents is our own behavior. Kids are like little sponges, soaking up everything they see and hear. They're constantly watching us, learning from our example. So, if we want our kids to be respectful, patient, and self-controlled, we need to model those qualities ourselves. It's like that saying, "Actions speak louder than words." Now, I'll be the first to admit I'm not perfect. There are days when I lose my patience or get frustrated, but you know what? That's okay. It's what we do after those moments that matters. If we mess up, we own it. We apologize to our kids and show them that even grown-ups make mistakes. We can say something like, "Hey, I'm sorry I yelled earlier. I was feeling frustrated, but that's not an excuse. I'm working on managing my anger better." Modeling self-control and accountability teaches our kids that it's okay to be human, and it shows them how to handle their own emotions in a healthy way. Think of it like this. We're not just building a house for our kids to live in, we're teaching them how to build their own houses, their own lives. And that starts with setting a good example. Now, this next tip is one of my favorites because it really empowers kids to become independent thinkers. It's all about encouraging problem solving. Think about it. When we constantly swoop in and fix everything for our kids, we're inadvertently sending the message that they're not capable of handling things on their own. But kids are so much more capable than we often give them credit for. So, the next time your child comes to you with a problem, resist the urge to jump in with a solution right away. Instead, try asking open-ended questions like, that's tricky. What do you think you could try? Or, what are some different ways you could approach this? You might be surprised by their creativity and resourcefulness. They might not come up with the perfect solution right away. And that's okay. The process of brainstorming and trying different approaches is what's important. Maybe their toy broke and they're upset. Instead of rushing to fix it, you could say, "Oh no, that's frustrating. Do you think we could try taping it? Or maybe we could use those building blocks to make a new toy." By encouraging them to come up with their own solutions, we're fostering their independence, problem-solving skills, and their belief in their own abilities. And those are qualities that will serve them well throughout their lives. It's like giving them the tools and confidence to tackle any renovation project that comes their way. Remember, building discipline isn't about making life harder for kids. It's about preparing them for a successful future. When they know how to handle responsibility and control their actions, they're set up to handle the bigger challenges in life with confidence. It's like giving them a strong foundation to build their lives on. Just like a house needs a solid foundation to weather any storm, our kids need that inner strength and resilience to navigate the ups and downs of life. So, if you found this video helpful, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more parenting tips. And let us know in the comments, what's one strategy you're going to try with your kids? Or share something that's worked for you. We can all learn from each other.